What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're gonna try Microsoft Flight Sim out on my secondary computer here. Now this guy's got a 5800X3D in it, 32 gigs of 3600 megahertz CL14 dual rank memory. We've got a RTX 3090 Founders in there. We got a AsRock X570 Taichi for a motherboard. The CPU is cooled by a 360mm all-in-one by EK. It's the all-in-one basic, they call it, because it doesn't have any fancy RGB anywhere. And then it's all powered by a 1000 watt Corsair RM1000 power supply. It's also got a capture card in there, but that doesn't really do much for anybody, so I don't usually mention it, but this is the capture computer, so it does have a 4K Mark II capture card in there from Elgato. But other than that, that's all we've got. So why don't we go ahead and hop on into the game, look at some settings, and get some gameplay too, both camera and screen. Well, on our secondary computer here, before we jump into the game, let's look at the settings. This time around we're doing DLSS on quality the whole time, and we'll start on low and work our way to ultra and get some camera at the end. And obviously if anybody wants me to go through just like ultra and like all the different DLSS settings or FSR settings on the AMD Advantage computer laptop I got, just let me know in the comments. I don't mind doing requests, not at all. That's kind of what I do on this. I do some games of my own accord, but most are requests. Anyway, to the game. Well, here we go. We're on low quality with DLSS on quality.
Out your side windows, you can see we have
I definitely saw like the mountain loading in over there for a second, so probably has to do with the settings. I don't think that's my graphics card or anything doing anything goofy. Yeah, it actually still looks pretty good on ultra wide here on low, but definitely will look better once we tone the graphics up a little. There's not a lot of definition anything on the ground right now, and the clouds don't look very defined. I mean, it is low after all. What do I expect? We are getting a phenomenal amount of FPS though. Remember, this is only a 3080. It's sad to say that already, but a 3080 is getting trounced by like all the new cards that are coming out. Even a 4070, when it comes out, will be able to own it. But hey, that's progress. It's already a pretty old card, so that's why it just chills in my secondary computer. I'll upgrade it when it can no longer do ultra wide very well, which will probably be right around the time where my 4090 starts struggling at 4K again. So I'll probably just do what I always do: sell that card, let someone else have it for peanuts, and drop my 4090 in my secondary computer and upgrade to whatever's next, whether it's AMD or NVIDIA. And for now, it'll probably keep being NVIDIA until AMD can get ray tracing under control. Because as much as I didn't like it, now that I got a GPU that can actually handle having it on, it's pretty sweet. Some games it's not very noticeable, I'm going to be honest with you, but there's certain games where it's pretty noticeable, like Spider-Man, Cyberpunk, shit like that. There's more, but I'm a little stoned at the moment, so being honest, can't really think of a bunch off the top of my head, but there's a bunch where it barely makes any difference at all. Like some of the Call of Duties. I didn't really notice a huge difference in Battlefield 5 either, to be honest. But anyway, though, we're right at our little turning spot, so why don't we go ahead and move on to the next graphics setting. Well, now, moving on to DLSS quality with medium graphics settings. So, before we get to the game, of course, let's go look through these real fast. Seems to work best if I just drag this down at a random rate here, rather than trying to like scroll down point with the mouse a little bit. But there we go, we've reached the bottom, so now it's into the game time. Well, here we go. Now let's do some DLSS quality with the graphics on medium now.
Sound good?
So let's just fly around. Man, you can sure see a lot with ultra wide, that's for sure.
Out your side windows, you can see we have great visibility over Sedona today.
Oh, so that's how I make that. You click the button and we can go, okay.
This is Red Rock territory. Beautiful, isn't it?
Yep, it is pretty nice.
See if you can spot the Sedona airport. The runway should be
I don't know. Where could that airport be? I don't know. Oh, there it is.
There you go. Visual confirmation on the airport. already talked about basic controls while we were on the ground. Time to see how it all feels in the air. The aircraft is currently set to a cruise attitude. The position it should be in for regular flight.
Alright though, why don't we move on?
Alright.
Well, now it is time to move up to DLSS quality with the game on high-end global rendering quality. So, before we get into the game, of course, we'll go through the settings really fast just so you can see what all the settings are. And of course, if anybody wants me to go through this game on the primary or secondary computer, well, I probably will anyway, but if anybody definitely wants me to without the DLSS and all that stuff, I definitely will. Definitely don't mind. Anyway, to the game. Well, here we go. Let's get a little high gameplay in here with the DLSS quality and the game on high. It's high, but they call it high end. You can call it whatever you want, but all I can say is we're getting lots of FPS here.
Out your side windows, you can see we have
It's
great
definitely starting to look
visibility
pretty
over
nice
Sedona
now.
today.
Oh, you can even see like weird little lens flares and stuff. When you go and look at the light at a certain angle. At first I thought, oh shit, is it artifacting? And I was like, oh wait, no. That's just
This
like what
is
light
Red
does.
Rock territory. Beautiful,
Alright, we
isn't
did
it?
that real quick.
See if you can spot the Sedona airport. The runway should be a pretty easy landmark to find. There you go. Visual confirmation on the airport.
Yeah, pretty much butter smooth. This does have DLSS on, so it's obviously not native ultra wide, but still looks good to me. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to find shit that looks bad. Do you guys see anything that looks bad? Like where you could obviously be like, oh man, I can tell DLSS, that looks like so shit because I'm sitting here not even playing and trying to pixel peep, and I'm having trouble seeing anything. Like maybe if I look way into like the mountains, maybe it looks a little softer, but I feel like I'm probably just splitting it hairs, honestly.
The aircraft is currently set to a cruise attitude.
Anyway, though,
Position it should be in for regular flight.
why don't we go ahead
All right,
and move
now
on?
let's-
Well, alright, last up before we get into some camera gameplay is we're going to do a little DLSS quality with the game on Ultra. But first, of course, let's go through the settings. Alright, that's the bottom. So now, into the game. Now we've got the game on
This
Ultra,
session, we'll get
with
started
DLSS
with
still on
basic
quality.
controls. Sound good?
And yep, game
First
definitely
things
looks
first,
real good
let's
now.
Get familiar with your surroundings. Out your
And we're
side
still
windows,
getting way more than
you
enough
can see
FPS, at
we
least
have
as far as I'm
great
concerned.
visibility over Sedona today. This is Red Rock territory. Beautiful, isn't it? See if you can spot the Sedona airport. The runway should
I
be
found
a
it.
pretty
It's
easy
right over
landmark to
there.
find. There you
But
go.
that's just because we've done
Visual
this so many
confirmation on the
times,
airport.
so it's quite obvious where the airport is at this point. Misty is discovering that I blocked off my battery backups. She kept trying to like climb up on top of them. I'm like, those are filled with extreme amounts of dangerous electricity, you know. So I decided to put a couple boxes on top to prevent her from jumping up on top. And I do not think she's very happy about it. Sorry, Misty, that's for your own good. I don't want you getting electrocuted or knocking them over or whatever. Hell, I don't even like messing with my ULPSs. I like just as soon as I set them up, I let them charge, then I plugged everything
We
in,
already talked about
and
basic
I
controls
haven't
while
unplugged
we
them
were
or
on the
done
ground.
anything to them since.
Time to
Haven't
see
touched
how
them.
it all feels in the air.
Well, besides clicking the buttons on the
aircraft
front to
is
see what they're
currently
doing.
set to a
That's
cruise
about it.
attitude.
Which doesn't do
Position it
anything.
should be in for regular flight.
Anyway, though, now,
Alright, now
why don't we
let's
go
try
ahead
making
and get into a little camera
turn
gameplay
right
now. It's
over
about
the
time. Alright, guys, let's look through the settings here real fast. That's a little weird. I don't know why it's like autofocus is going crazy here. But regardless, these are just the ultra settings anyway. But anyway, that's the bottom. You already saw the settings earlier anyway. They're the same ultra settings we just did. I just wanted to do that one more time real quick to show you what they were, even though it was a little blurry. I'm still learning this camera, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. So let's go hop into the game and hope it stops with this blurry nonsense, because it's been great up until now. Well, alright guys, here we go. Let's get a little camera gameplay in here.
First things first, let's get familiar with your surroundings.
At least now it's not doing that blurry thing. I think it's because I had the little light on next to my computer. It didn't know what the hell to do. So it was all like, oh, what the hell, I'm just going to be blurry. So already figured that out, so hopefully we won't have any more blurry messes when we're doing any ultra-wide gameplay over here. I was going to say, I don't know what was going on because I've come over here before and had no issue with it whatsoever, but... Oh yeah, it wants me to do this real quick. It sure is.
See if you can spot this.
There it is. It's right there.
The runway should be a pretty easy landmark to find. There you go. Visual confirmation on the airport.
See, and now we're not recording with shadow play, so we're getting a lot more FPS than we were before. Especially if you look at the ground. Or in the air. Definitely get the most looking in the air.
We already talked about basic controls while we were on the ground.
We sure
Time
did.
to see how it all feels in the air. The aircraft is currently set to a cruise attitude. The position it should be in for regular flight. Alright, now let's try making it to a turn by moving the yoke. I'll go first.
Alright. Deja vu.
As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
Sounds like a good general rule. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't know why a game called Microsoft Flight Sim would lie to me about something like that. That would be awfully foolish on their part, I do think. Game definitely does look good, that's for sure. And ultra-wide makes it look really immersive. It's probably going to look really immersive on the 4K TV in the other game room, too. Well, we're already under half a battery on this thing. They were right. It definitely doesn't get very great battery life. I might want to get one of those dummy batteries like someone suggested in my comments on my unboxing video of this thing. Then I can just leave it plugged in all the time, because if I leave it plugged in all the time, like with this battery, it's just going to fuck the battery up like it did my DJI. Since it had such piss poor battery, I pretty much just decided to leave it in all the time, and now it gets horrid battery life when it's not plugged in. But that was my own fault. I did it to it, so I can't blame it. It's It's not the camera's fault, I used it improperly. So I figured I'd be a lot more careful with this one, so I will not be recording at all with this thing plugged in to a power source. Oh, and my at least wireless mics are coming tomorrow, so that will be good. I still don't have any ETA on the main one that I'm just going to mostly leave on the top to get better audio. It's not like this thing's horrid, but it doesn't really seem much better than my DJI. In fact, it might be a little worse. I don't really know. Maybe I'm just imagining things and getting in my own head about it, but at least it doesn't sound absolutely horrid. But it could sound better, and if we've gone this far to get great picture and whatnot, why not go the extra mile, right? And get some good audio too. Alright, let's hop on into our cockpit here. I'm still impressed with how much attention to detail there is in here. Oh, probably be a good time to look down now. We're actually no, I guess the wing blocks everything. I was gonna say it'd be cool to see the whole city, but all we see is a wing. Anyway, though, I think that's a good enough amount of video there, so why don't we go wrap this video on up now before I completely run out of battery and don't have enough to do my main computer. Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Microsoft Flight Sim on the secondary computer, and it did absolutely flawlessly, at least with DLSS, but if anybody wants to see me do this just without DLSS and all that, and just go through the settings like normal, since I haven't done this computer or the main computer, obviously just let me know down in the comments. I might do it later, but got other games to do in the meantime. But for now, it's time for me to wrap this video on up so I can move on to my main computer before this thing runs out of battery. We've got two little battery marks left. That's not a lot. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I sure enjoyed making it. And until the next video, peace out, guys.